Erika Kirk has been caught in a lie, which has made people question her even more, especially considering her glittering grieving tour.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Hold up, then who are these two guys? Tyler Massey and Cabot Phillips, both of whom she dated in the 5 years before she met Charlie in 2018.
Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going, I don't drink. I find it unproductive.
You don't drink? Then how come you're shown drinking on season 3 of Summer House here?
This is ridiculous. Okay, that's good.
This got people into a bit of confusion online because what's the point of rewriting your past before you met Charlie Kirk?
So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie.
It's not shameful to have dated people before you met your husband, nor is it shameful to have lived a life beforehand, or even to have drunk alcohol in the past and then say, actually, I just don't really like the way it makes you feel, I just don't do it anymore. So then he wouldn't go having to make revisionist history in real time like we're seeing happen. There's been a whitewashing of Charlie Kirk's legacy, and Erika Kirk has definitely been a big part of that.
Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith.
So much so that it proved even more once he was assassinated how much of a peacemaker he was.
Revisionist history is something that we're seeing happen in real time, not only when it comes to the case of Erika Kirk, but also with what the Trump administration is doing when it's trying to cover up the atrocities of ICE that people have been able to watch with their own eyes on camera. This is why we read 1984 in high school. And people have been really wondering why there's now a woman who is CEO and chairwoman of Turning Point USA, an organization which strongly and proudly keeps on re-emphasizing that a woman's place is in the home looking after her children. She herself has also said this many times too.
I am the wife, I am in charge of certain things, guardian of the home, helping with the children, That is so I can make it easy for my husband to do what he needs to do.
When you become a mother, that is what God has called you to be.
Young women in the city look to the government as a solution to put off having a family or a marriage because you're relying on the government to support you.
If you somehow missed all of this, Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA when he was 18 in 2012. It is famous for going to high schools, colleges, and universities and, quote, debating all sorts of kids with his conservative, often incorrect, racist, sexist, and homophobic talking points.
Just get married early, like reject the siren song of modernity and have lots of kids. Like being a partner at a local law firm actually isn't that big of a deal. Having 3 kids is a really big deal and will make you happier. And it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom. In fact, we need a lot of stay-at-home moms.
It's all about furthering conservatism aimed at 15 to 25-year-olds. So then they come to a turning point in their life where these are the people that you meet, and then your mind is changed politically. It's good to get them while they're young and impressionable.
Argument to bring back the MRS degree. And no, seriously. And just be clear, that's why you're going to college.
It became famous because of the clip moments, which went super viral, of ownership moments over libs. And they specifically want to train conservative activists, which I know is an oxymoron because you think of an activist, you think of people that are against racism, not people that are fighting for racism. As I've spoken about before, anti-intellectualism is incredibly important for fascism to rise, and Charlie Kirk has said multiple times on college campuses and in high schools how much of a waste of time college is. There are some kernels of truth that there are issues with the higher education system, absolutely. Getting a higher education, questioning things further, and wanting to learn more, none of that is bad stuff. He believed that women should marry young.
Men's nature is towards variety, okay? And I think it's very important for wives to just say to their husbands, thank you for being loyal to me. It's a very important thing.
The black people are less intelligent. And set upon Taylor Swift's engagement announcement,
reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge.
And for the distinct displeasure of this video, because I wanted to make sure I got things directly from the source, I've been watching hours and hours and hours of the original content. Please give this video a like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. He also strongly believed that women belong in the home, especially if they have children. You should not be pawning your children off to other people to look after.
It is bad for everybody. It creates strangers raising our kids. And also it creates women that have to go into the workforce that are unhappy in their job because they'd rather have their 6-month-old baby in their arms. And honestly, it's much more important for you to raise your 6-month-old baby than crunching numbers on a spreadsheet.
Awkward. and that the husband should be taking care of everything financially. So I'm absolutely positive that someone like Charlie Kirk, who really did take this to heart and talked about it multiple times, constantly.
That your wife never has a financial pressure ever on the family. And if you have not done that, then you got to get your act together. And let me tell the men out there, you do not spend a dime on video games or sports games or things for yourself until your wife does not have to worry about finances. You come last in the family.
He would surely have had something in place in case something ever happened to him, right, at Turning Point USA. Either he failed at patriarchal masculinity by not having these safeguards in place for his family, or Erika Kirk is going directly against his wishes by heading up the company and going on this big tour she's been on. I have found two things that I agree with Charlie Kirk on. One, that fathers bear responsibility for their children once they're born. And two, I think it's really good that they made the conscious decision and effort to never show their children's faces or their names. I've spoken about this so many times, children can't consent. I do not agree with family vloggers, and it's really good that they actually made this decision. There are great videos which dive into the real life impacts of Charlie Kirk, like this video from Jessie Gender and this video from FD Signifier. There are many people who have tried to whitewash Charlie Kirk's history, including Erika Kirk herself.
We are here for the freedom of speech. That's our role. Save Western civilization. But what Charlie loved, and him being a parent also, was that he wanted to inspire the parents to show their kids what true north is, and then say, you have a home at Turning Point that will help fuel that even more.
But actually, in her eyes, he may not have been going hard enough. Can you ever grift grief? Could you call it griefting? In the next section, we're diving into the entire life of Erika Kirk, but I really want to put this here at the start. I have tried to give some space to Erika Kirk because, as horrible of a person as Charlie Kirk was, I can recognize that it would be horrible and heartbreaking to lose somebody that you love. And I also recognize that people grieve in different ways. But people have definitely been drawing a lot of conclusions from the way that she's seemingly been grieving. Maybe she didn't want the pyrotechnic rally and just went along with the motions because, like, she was in a state of shock and was just doing what other people wanted her to do. Like, we can understand being in a state of shock if the whole world saw your husband get shot in the neck. Like Illuminati reinforces in this fantastic video, people are still people even if they do horrific things. I personally would be utterly destroyed if anything happened to my husband. A couple of my patrons are widows and they've wanted to give Erika Kirk space as well. However, as time has gone on, we've been noticing so have the pyrotechnics, so have the sequins, so has the tour, so has every opportunity to sell things, so have moments like this. And this one made me feel particularly sick. A recreation of where the incident happened as a photo opportunity at TP USA America Fest. It made me wonder, what if Jackie Kennedy recreated where JFK was shot for a photo opportunity? The public would be mortified. But again, we're dealing with a president, not a podcaster. Especially for her kids. Like, these kids are so young. They are 1 and 3 years old. Where is their parent? I'm not saying it's a woman's role to be there to be the soft touch at all, because no matter which parent it is that tragically passes away, you'd expect the other parent to be there with the kids, right? To grieve together, to be there together. Like, a lot of people have been wondering why she hasn't been there during this critical time, especially as this has been going on for months, since the 10th of September. It is also really dangerous to infantilize Erika Kirk just because she's a mother and a widow. Women are perfectly capable of evil as well, and women have been part of going against feminist progress, upholding patriarchy, white supremacy, and fascism. Erika is just one face amongst many, like I've spoken about in my Womanosphere video. She is now in a very powerful position as CEO and chairwoman of Turning Point USA, a multi-million-dollar operation. And whoops, this Freudian slip really showed something, didn't it?
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift, grit.
Almost.
It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
He may not be a grifter, but it's starting to feel like she is.
Erika is that kind of crazy, and she is perfect for the role.
The hypocritical life of Girlboss Erika Kirk. Despite the memes drawing the resemblance between them because of like the eyes, there is no relation between her and Kenneth Copeland that I've been able to find. Born in 1988, 1 year before yours truly, Erika Francevey was raised in a Catholic household in Arizona. Her grandfather was an immigrant from Sweden and was incredibly conservative.
Great mom.
Great parents.
My grandparents
were amazing.
Fiercely right wing.
Yes. My grandfather was an immigrant from Sweden.
Which just makes it more odd to be siding with the party against immigration, considering that's her family history. Like, anyone that's white in America, it does really confuse me.
The fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
I mean, look. I say this as an immigrant in this country in Aotearoa, and my husband is also an immigrant here. The thing is that we're white, so people don't question us and whether we belong.
Fought in World War II and the Korean War. Yeah, and he got the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and knighted by the King of Sweden, and he was always super far right.
She revealed in this podcast with Charlie Kirk that her father was a stay-at-home dad.
Do not want to knock the stay-at-home dads. I do not. There are some who had to temporarily have to switch that role. That happened to my parents a long time ago. Granted, again, they got a divorce, so that probably falls into your bucket. My dad was a stay-at-home dad for a few years, and I gotta say, it was really sweet and really special. I was 4.
It was her mum that was a breadwinner, and this goes strongly against Charlie's beliefs about a woman's role and a man's role.
I see those marriages careening for divorce quicker than anything else. Here's why. We as men are hardwired to produce for the family. We find meaning. We find purpose.
It's like, welcome home, babe. Whatever you need, we're here.
Financial burdens should not be brought into the concern of the wife.
Her parents did divorce when she was young, and her mother, Laurie, worked incredibly hard to look after them.
I was the last one to be picked up every single day because she was at the office. I saw how hard she worked for that paycheck.
Erika describes herself as a tomboy when she was a kid, only getting her first pair of heels when she was 14. She especially liked playing basketball, which is something which will come up in the future. In 2006, she started Everyday Heroes Like You, which assists nonprofits globally by promoting and propagating them. Here's where one of the conspiracy theories comes in, tied into Romanian angels. Like, people are trying to link this to child trafficking, however, there is literally no evidence for this at all. It's been thoroughly debunked. The article which is being referenced actually is from 2001, where Erika would have been, 12 years old, and it actually implicates Israel. The charity Romanian Angels was supported by Erika, and it had US troops handing out the gifts. Erika went to visit them herself, as is shown in these pictures. It only ever got positive coverage in Romania, so that conspiracy theory, debunked. In 2007, she went to Regis University in Colorado and played basketball. However, she did spend most of the time on the bench, and she left after 2 years, transferring to Arizona State University. She earned 2 bachelor's degrees in political science and international relations. She was crowned Miss Arizona on her 23rd birthday, which is the 20th of November 2012.
Congratulations, Erika Franzwey, and happy birthday, Erika Franzwey.
And then she competed as Miss Arizona for Miss USA, but failed to place. More conspiracy theories pop up here because Donald Trump owned Miss USA from 1996 to 2015. Hence this picture existing. However, I'm gonna have to censor the version on YouTube, maybe put some more clothes on her, but you know, Trump likes to put his name on everything he can.
I honestly did not like the pageant world. I didn't like the pride that came with that. That's why I never talked about it.
July 2012, she's in the She's My Kinda Crazy music video by Emerson Drive. I'm not gonna hurt your eardrums with the whole song, here's just a line for you.
She got a butterfly tat on the back of a you-know-where.
The song reached the top 40 on the Canadian Hot 100. Now, whether that tattoo is real or not doesn't matter. Honestly, I think because it was in the song that they would have just like used one of those transfers on her. Like, that doesn't make her less of a good person at all. But people have used this as a way to try and shame her. There's more conspiracy theories that come in here as well, because there's some numbers that show up here which coincide with the date that Charlie was killed. I honestly just found it more interesting that she was in a music video. From this point onward is where it gets incredibly hard to place exactly what Erika Kirk was doing, when and where, and what job she was doing, because there is barely any information out there. I couldn't find the exact date that she moved to New York, but she did. She said that she worked as a model, actress, and casting director, but she doesn't say for whom or in what or anything. Here's where we get to the boyfriends. 2014, she's in this photo with Tyler Massey at Phoenix Fashion Week. Now, I know that it's in 2014 because I even tracked down the exact dress that she's wearing and the designer. She was tagged in Jacqueline Nicole's clothes, and 2014 was the first year that she participated as an emerging designer, and she's wearing the exact same dress that Erika is wearing, so that's how I know know that this was the exact year. It seems they carried on the relationship for a while, doing couple photo shoots with Luna Bear Studios. Like this one from March 2015. I have the exact date for this because it was a Trump rally on the 12th of July 2015, and you can see Erika and her mum Lori here. There's been some speculation that these two are actually engaged and this is their child between them, but nothing really is confirmed about that. I actually just find it more interesting that she was at, like, I think this was Trump's third rally in 2015, which really does show exactly how far right-leaning Erika Kirk really is to have been on that bandwagon even that far back. 2016, she launched the app Bible 365 from her New York apartment, which is an app to encourage people to read the Bible over the course of a year. She was broken up with Tyler at some point because in September of 2017, she is tagged here by her boyfriend Cabot Phillips with the caption, "Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together." Cute activity, nothing wrong with it. Cabot previously worked for Campus Reform, has been incredibly right-wing from the get-go, and now is senior editor at the Daily Wire. He's been in that position since 2020, and he did a talk for TPUSA on the 9th of December 2025. It's like there's a very close circle of incredibly conservative people kind of overlapping. Speaking of it, there's actually a photo that Charlie uploaded himself with Cabot. This photo on the 24th of September 2017 saying he beat Cabot in one-on-one basketball. This is when Cabot was still in a relationship with Erika, as we can see from the comments here. And on the 29th of November, Erika made a post on his Facebook wall wishing him a happy birthday, signed XX your catfish. So she was in relationships, saying that she wasn't. Maybe it's because of the TPUSA kind of overlap that's sort of happening here, that she didn't want to have the waters muddied, especially since one of them is still working there. I don't know, but it's just weird to have a revisionist past, because it's okay to be like, yeah, we used to be in a relationship, but we're not anymore, because like, he's married to someone else, she got married to someone else, that's fine, right? That's why the only reason I can think that she's doing this is to create this sort of pure evangelical sort of image of herself. Getting back to more education, in 2017 she started studying at Liberty University, and she did this online, and I confirmed it through her Instagram comments because someone asked the question if she studied online, and she said yes. I told you I go to the original source, and I dig. I am a true trash panda. This is an evangelical Christian college, and my face is wincing for a lot of reasons here. She earned a Juris Master degree in American Legal Studies. A Juris Master is shorter and teaches you about American law without making you a lawyer. And she's still seemingly studying there, studying towards her PhD in Biblical Studies. Liberty University has a lot of scandals and controversies surrounding it, including Jerry Falwell Jr. making a racist tweet with a face mask he designed with a photo of a white person in blackface and another in a KKK outfit as a way to try and lash out at the mayor. It's a whole thing. They are completely mired in controversy. Just a quick glance at their Wikipedia page will show you all of the many issues. It's not a great place for black students or alumni, as is shared in this Slate piece. It is a terrible place when it comes to victim blaming in particular, as was shown in this ProPublica research, which honestly tracks with its conservative values. Words and actions indicating LGBT states of mind are prohibited for students as of the 2021 version of the Liberty Way, the student handbook. It is a pretty low-ranking school, and when I say that, it ranked last place in Washington Monthly. That is ranking 391st place out of a possible 391 places. The only college more conservative than it is now Brigham Young University, which I believe that Cabot actually attended from his photo that he had with Charlie Kirk. Plus, Liberty University proudly has very strong Republican ties, including to Trump himself and his party members speaking there, and it's been accused of censoring students if they have anything negative to say about Trump. What a place for a quality education that encourages free thinking and questioning, right? This is where the CEO of Toilet Paper USA is getting her education. In 2018, she launched Proclaim Streetwear, which is linked in conjunction with Bible 365, and to quote the website, with every purchase from Proclaim, 100% of proceeds go directly towards keeping our Bible in 365 ministry free. And this is where things get really interesting, because summer of 2018 is when season 3 of Summer House was filmed, which aired in 2019. And she also recognizes this on her Instagram post where she is celebrating her graduation. As I silently pursued this degree and made my own career sacrifices, like turning down Bravo Summer House and other various TV show opportunities, she was on as a guest star for a love interest for Jordan. They went on a date and she is drinking here, and that is completely okay. But you see what I mean about revisionist history? This is something that fascism does. And it's made me and others question why you feel like you need to lie about these things. Unfortunately, because we live in a sexist society, people are judging her for these things, whereas I'm questioning why she's lying about them as opposed to judging her for that stuff, because I don't judge people for that, because I don't see anything that she's done, like, shameful. I mean, I find it questionable that you date such conservative people, but she's, like, even more conservative than Charlie, as we'll get to in the future. It's more people in good faith questioning, why are you hiding this stuff? Unless it's because you're judging yourself for your past actions, unless Charlie judged her for her past actions.
The highest performing people that you guys like at this conference are people that actually don't drink alcohol. Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, they don't drink alcohol, actually. And again, if you want to do it, it's fine, do it in moderation, be responsible and all that. I don't drink.
Put a pin in those feelings of shame, especially for a Christian woman, because we're coming back to that later. And in 2018, she got her real estate license. 2018 was a very big year because she also went to Turning Point USA's office opening.
For their first building. And Tyler, he runs Turning Point Action now. And he said, you need to meet the CEO. I said, okay, great. Met him very quickly. Shook his hand, said hi, nice to meet you. Neither of us thought anything of it.
Wouldn't you say, oh, I thought he was handsome, I thought he was charming, I thought he was charismatic, oh, I found him really interesting, especially since you end up marrying the guy. And also, why did she even want to go to the office opening?
Tyler said, we need to hire her, and he goes, mm-hmm. Then he's like, where'd she live? And Tyler said, New York. He's like, okay, I'm gonna have a Fox News hit, and then I'm gonna sit down with her and interview her in New York.
She also describes the job interview that she met Charlie Kirk for.
It was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my roommates, viewed it as obviously the job interview that it was supposed to be. And the Lord knew, Charlie in some way, similar to how, he sees things in a lot of people, in some way, beautifully saved me from a huge mistake of putting career over family and career over husband, because it's easy to do when, as a female, when you see bright lights, big city, but the Lord used him. The Lord used him.
Did you notice just how seamlessly she interwove that propaganda for get married young, start a family young, how that was just woven in so naturally into that conversation, right? She does this all the time in all these interviews that she's having. But getting back to the interview that she had with Charlie Kirk.
How long did it take you to fall in love with him?
That's the funny thing, is it was...
You're just stalling now.
It's so interesting because when we were sitting there, I fell in love with how brilliant he was to be able to articulate what he believed in. And when he said, I'm not gonna hire you, I'm gonna date you, I knew that was the Lord. Again, my mindset wasn't there, his was. So you think of it, you're in an interview, you have to totally do a 180 of a mindset. But I honestly, where like the depths of the love started was when we were playing basketball together.
That doesn't make any sense. Especially to anybody young who could be watching this video, if someone ever says, I don't want to hire you, I want to date you, they set this up under false pretenses. He just wanted to get with her from the get-go. Like, no matter the cute little Instagram video that he made telling his daughter about how they met at this burger place and stuff, this is completely inappropriate behavior. This is a massive breach of professional ethics, and it is a super dodgy thing to do on his end. But instead she emphasizes how this caught her off guard.
Yes, love at first sight, yes, obviously, but again, my mindset wasn't there.
But then she has to catch herself and say, well, obviously it was love at first sight. But this wasn't the first time that she saw him, because she first saw him like previously and she didn't have anything to say about him then. August of 2019, she launched her podcast Midweek Rise Up. The last episode that she did, as we can see on her website, is 9th of September 2025, because obviously she's been very busy with Turning Point USA since then. And of course grieving, hence the grieving glitter. Erika has been involved in Turning Point USA events, in particular focusing on young women's side and often doing things in tandem with Charlie.
Be the woman that your future husband deserves. Like, be the woman that God wants you to be. You don't have to be out partying.
Also featuring solo at Young Women's Leadership Summits.
Mother is incredible. And I know you guys, some of you aren't there yet, but it's amazing. It is so special. I don't want you to be chasing a paycheck and a title in a corner office and sacrifice such a short window that you have
in this time period.
Something which has been going on for 10 years now. In terms of their relationship timeline, Charlie proposed in December 2020. They got married on the 8th of May 2021, which Turning Point USA paid for their reception of, by the way. They had their daughter in August of 2022, and their son was born in May of 2024. Once again, these children are very young. She is 3, he is 1. So let's get into their relationship and the challenges and the hypocrisy that is like swirling around all of this. But first, I need a break, and I feel like you do too.
And this is why I can relate a lot to the Manhattan mindset of a lot of young women, where it's career oriented. Because my mom used to tell me, don't feel like you need to rely on a man for life and work.
Erika's mum Laurie raised her incredibly well, as you can clearly see, with these really good, strong messages. However, that's not the kind of woman that Charlie or Erika want everyone to be, even though Charlie ended up choosing the boss babe to be his wife. Viewers have been asking them questions, and so they're doing like the little cute coupley Q&A.
Who is more conservative and why?
Erika.
That was a fast answer.
Yes.
By far. Not even close. I am a moderate compared to Erika.
Andrew always jokes that once you got married to me, you got more based.
That's true. That is true. No, Erika is very conservative.
And then he goes to say,
Having kids made you more conservative?
100%. Which I didn't think was possible.
when she was already incredibly conservative to begin with. How much more right could you get? Well, I guess we're at fascism now. So, guess I answered my own question. This part really interests me because Charlie brings up like women not having children and how that's quite a liberal thing to do.
The women who don't have kids are more left-leaning because they choose not to have kids. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Whole different topic.
They consider kids to being
a nuisance.
A burden.
A nuisance.
I stress this to everybody constantly. I only want people to become parents or caregivers if they genuinely want to have kids and want to have all of the responsibility that comes along with raising a child and then being there for them for their entire adult lives and loving them no matter what their gender is, no matter what their sexuality is, no matter what their hobbies are. There is a particular framing of women as being selfish and wrong for not having kids, and there is a lot more vitriol towards women who do not have children, and that is like another video I want to make as well because it's actually gotten a lot worse these days. But don't worry, because Charlie comes with the best advice here.
Women should look for men that have self-control, and men should look for women that are willing to submit, which is basically a non-feminist woman.
So he only has to adhere to his own ideas of self-control, and then she has to submit to whatever he determines to be the way that things should be. That can't end badly for anybody. And then she decides to pick up this thread of submission and talk about how it's biblical and how important it is.
My biblical role is to be the helpmate to my husband. As a wife, I am to, quote unquote, submit to you, which is a beautiful word, by the way, because that's the order of how it's supposed to go. And God will bless that.
He goes to quote the Bible on this.
Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. This submits that both husband and wives are called to serve and prioritize each other's needs.
Funny, isn't it, how it says for husbands to submit to your wives and for wives to submit to your husbands, but the only thing that ever gets focused on is the wives submitting to husbands part. She rambles on for quite a bit, but it's about following the natural order of things. So you've got the whole umbrella, you know, you've got God, the husband, the wife, and then the children. And it means that the woman is responsible for her things in her domain.
But if you try to have a career while you have your kids, there is no such thing as balance. That is such a myth. I can't spend half of the day doing one thing. I missed out half of that time with being with the kids. So like you have to choose where your heart has to be fully with the home. But if you miss those precious first few years, that is so hard to make up because memories are so much more important than an added paycheck.
As in looking after the children. Who is with your children, by the way? Who's helping them through this horrible time?
It's easy to not be poor if you are a man. You have to make a decision, a conscious choice to not have a poverty mindset.
But what about school debt?
And I was actually glad to see her questioning him.
They should have gone to college.
Because college is a scam.
Yeah.
But like, she's still in higher education and he is dissing it. They both plan to homeschool their kids until the 6th, 7th or 8th grade when they may go to school. 6th grade, I checked as well, is about the ages of 11 or 12. And who is it that's meant to be teaching these children? It's the women. That's why there is so much pressure from people like these to have kids young, to get married young. And then he says that motherhood is natural to women and that it takes longer for men to be able to find themselves.
Very good mothers with almost no like training. It's just at 23, 24, women can make good mothers.
I don't know about that.
I actually got my hopes up when she started to push back, but then she says this.
Stick their kid in front of Cuckoo Melon, what is it? Cocoa Melon? What is it, Miss Rachel? Oh, her voice kills me. Those shows for hours. But they have to be prepared for it too.
People sit their kids in front of the TV for hours. Well, who is with your children right now? Like, these two are such rich people that they can afford the Montessori schools, they can afford the best in care, they can afford the best babysitters, the best tutors, the best everything. Like, there is so much hypocrisy, just like we see with all of the glamorous trad wife content creators. It's all to sell this vision of propaganda of this soft life, salt of the earth stuff, and there is another video which I want to make on the soft life and how that's being sold in particular to corporate women and how corporate women have been leaving the workforce because of hostility. Again, future video. Let me know if you want it.
After your kids are in school or after they're in high school, you can always go back to work. You can always find a way to get back into the workforce.
You can always have your career. Being able to have a family truly is a very limited, short window. You can start your career. If you have people and it's amazing business, have other people run it, you can still manage it. You can still pour into it, but you have your babies. And then once your babies are grown and the nest is empty, go back to your career. There's nothing wrong with that.
Please show me all of the amazing workplaces across the USA that have this sort of wonderful, flexible approach. The companies that provide summer holidays off, the companies that allow you to work from 8 until 3, the companies that allow for paid time off for both parents, the companies that don't mind you taking, what is it, like, you're meant to be homeschooling them until at least the age of like 12 or something. What companies are happy to have a 12 to 18 year gap in someone's resume?
If you don't have a career, you have your babies, the Lord's going to inspire something inside of you that you're like, you know what, there's a problem, I have a solution. How many baby companies have been born out of moms, you know?
Just come off it. She is selling such a false girl boss ending here, being like, oh, well, successful women have come out of this because at home they've found stuff that there's a need for. My God, do you know why these mothers were able to do that? Because they had enough money to be able to have the seed fund, to be able to get off the ground to begin with. And not only that, the only ones that you're seeing are the successful ones. This is called the survivorship bias, which, if you don't already know, is sampling bias when multiple factors are overlooked. Most people are struggling to get by day to day, with everyone who can work working in the household. Have children young. You can worry about a career when the kids are grown up. Don't worry about it because you're with a good man, of course, so it's his job to take care of you. I mean, if you're struggling financially, well then you didn't pick a good enough godly man. See how this always comes back around to shifting the blame onto the women no matter what? This is the most infuriating take of all, and it is so potentially damaging if girls actually absorb this messaging. So how do you rationalize being a boss babe to a multi-million-dollar company whilst you are actually a mother?
Right, well, I didn't ask for this. Obviously it's a blessing that I view it as a blessing. It's a duty to my husband. But I was very happy being a stay-at-home mom, and his mission was my mission. So stepping into this role is not so much a job title. This is not a 9-to-5 for me. This is something that I'm very passionate about because it's still a remaining breathing version of my husband, this Turning Point USA. So this organization is not just a company to me. And the staff and employees are not staff and employees, they're family.
It's such a sneaky dodge that she's saying here by trying to say that Turning Point is a family. It's more than just a career. And it's like, well, that's the case for so many women who are doing things that they are passionate about.
And so for me, it's a lot different and a lot deeper than a career. This is very personal.
It's so noble of her to take on this role and should much rather be with the children. Again, I just keep on reflecting on the children because no matter how reprehensible parents are, kids don't choose who they get born to. You know, like, that's why I'm always like, Who's with the children? Who's looking after them? Like, this is such a horrible time that they must be going through. And it's just been like, I'm on tour, buy this book, buy this thing, have this photo op. And it's not like they're financially struggling and she has to go out and work because like her husband passed away. It's not that situation at all. Is the girl boss that she so vehemently fights against. The only reason that she has any leg to stand on with the conservative community is because she has provided Charlie with children. And she's using the Lord and Charlie's wishes as her veil so that people can't critique her for the things that she's been doing during like this really awful time. In this Megyn Kelly interview, she raises a meeting that happened with donors in August of 2025.
God forbid if something happens to you, like what would happen next to Turning Point? And Charlie made a really interesting point. He said companies, example, Apple, Macintosh, he said they're founder-led. He said, but what I have built will one day, if I'm not around, be vision-led. And he had made mention at the end, like, Erika will do a great job running it.
Oh, that's suspicious. I have searched high and low. I have tried to find any sort of scrap of evidence for this. Nothing exists except for Erika's word here. And trust me, my patrons know I am a trash panda. I will find things that I am not meant to be able to find. And the reason that I don't, bring certain people up is because they have got a small platform and I can see them potentially turning into Nick Fuentes types, and I don't want to give them more of a platform by saying how ridiculous and horrible and harmful the things that they're saying are, because we don't need more of them. And then she adds on more girl boss empowerment, saying how she was raised by a single mother herself who did this.
I'm not afraid of raising my children alone because I saw my mom do that. I'm not afraid of being a CEO because I saw my mom do that.
So what is it? Because Charlie himself slammed women who went and worked. Again, she doesn't have to work. They were so rich. They've got multiple properties. They are not going to struggle at all. The family won't. And if Charlie was the good father that he kept on stressing the importance of being the provider, then they would have contingency plans in place. They would have insurances in place. They would be covered for life. Sorted. The hypocrisy just makes my brain hurt, but they do not care about the hypocrisy. The main thing is about keeping Turning Point USA churning and making more and more people as conservative as possible and getting more and more money and more power. Let me tell you what, Turning Point USA has been incredibly profitable since Charlie passed. Donations absolutely skyrocketed. Actually, let's talk about it.
People hoping for a turning point to go conservative light now that...
That's not happening.
Okay.
No, we are not. Turning Point USA is not becoming feminized, let me tell you that. That is not going to happen.
Awesome.
A mantle that I understand and that I know that Charlie has entrusted to me, the team has entrusted to me, the Lord has entrusted to me, and I take that very seriously.
And now she's working as hard as possible to make Turning Point USA as big as possible and get closer and closer to the Trump administration, even endorsing J.D. Vance for 2028.
It was, interestingly enough, one of the last few conversations we had was how intentional he was about supporting J.D. for 28.
Yeah, he was totally behind J.D. And he was largely
100%.
responsible for Trump picking J.D.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin.
Understand the hug that you and J.D. had?
I'm starting to cry. He says, he's so proud of you. And I say, God bless you. And I touch the back of his head. Anyone who I've hugged that I have touched the back of your head when I hug you, I always say, God bless you. That's just me. If you want to take that out of context, go right ahead.
Okay then. Sure, Jan. The thing is that everyone was bringing up this hug for how inappropriate it was, because it is very inappropriate to be doing that to a vice president. TPUSA is a behemoth of a company with revenue in 2024 being $84 million. But as they're a not-for-profit organization, the donations are anonymous, unless people sing the praises of them and publicly say what they're donating. The group spokesperson, Andrew Colvert, told Fox News on the 14th of September they had received 54,000 inquiries about launching new chapters, which are what Turning Point call these different clubs that pop up across different schools and universities and colleges. This has made him into a martyr and made her into someone in a really great position of power to align herself so well with this fascist regime. Now, this is really important because Turning Point USA is rolling out Club America. Like Teresa K. Newman shares in this TikTok,
You
create this large DEI percentage, and then you lower the standards, that puts people in harm's way. Does that make sense? Well, actually, in a lot of industries, they did. In the pilots, in the industry, they did say 50% black pilots. They did say that.
They are spreading right-wing propaganda in high schools, which is full of misinformation.
Christian nationalists and all these names, that's just a name that the left made up to silence people. I am a Christian and I love my nation.
Like, the kids are even pushing back and questioning them, but the whole point is to get this propaganda into schools during these very influential ages.
He loved the students, but also he loved empowering them to know that they could make a difference and how important voting was.
It's getting scarily close to Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls, which was all about indoctrinating a nationalistic ideology which is loyal, unquestioning, and boys and girls have their particular roles to play, girls in the home and boys ready to fight. This is how you did right by your country, which is especially concerning as Trump is launching his idea of the Patriot Games.
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will be no men playing in women's sports. You're not going to see that.
TPUSA's Club America is exactly what Robert O. Paxton is warning about in this book, The Anatomy of Fascism. They're spreading the same misinformation in the way that Charlie Kirk did about DEI, spreading falsities and sharing vulnerable information about LGBTQIA+ people, even using her own daughter's trauma to say that that's the reason that she became a lesbian.
His daughter had a lot of trauma as a child. Something really terrible happened to her when she was very young that I would hope never would happen to any other child. And as a result of it, she's a lesbian, she's gay.
Where were you when she clearly needed you as a child? Just, makes my blood absolutely boil. The reason that Charlie got as successful as he was because of those viral clip moments that went very popular. And seemingly some charisma and warmth that came along with that as well. You don't really get that from the Nick Fuentes types, and Nick Fuentes isn't exactly someone that many people can really look up to in terms of like holding these great Christian values. Charlie Kirk married a pageant queen and kept on about his religious convictions and family values. Like, that sort of stuff sells very well to middle America. There's a lot more pressure to try and find the next Charlie Kirk that meets these same criteria, and I don't know where you're going to find that. It's certainly not in the Groyper community, and it's certainly not in a lot of the right-wing talking heads that I've seen.
So Club America, powered by TPUSA, is a future leaders club. We serve to empower students that want to be the next Charlie Kirk and want to carry on his legacy.
Erika doesn't seem to have the same sort of connection as what Charlie did with people, obviously also because you're in conservative spaces, and so they'd much rather listen to a man and for the woman to be doing what she should be doing right now.
Build your family. Go raise a family. Go build a life of holy defiance. Go love your husband. Go love your babies. Go teach your children how to blaze a trail of glory. Go lead in truth and go be the light.
If she was mourning with the kids, if she was sharing like these inspirational posts instead and not out girl bossing, I feel like people would like her more. However, I don't even think it matters if people like her. Stay with me here, because look at the women who are working in the Trump administration. They are just as cold as Erika is. And we can see the exact tactic that Erika's going to be using, which is using God as her shield to do whatever the hell she wants to do in order to stay obedient to Trump. The connection with the Trump administration is so incredibly strong, and we can already see that JD Vance is the next replacement if something happens to Trump within the next few years and even afterwards. Like, Peter Thiel and the other billionaires have got such a vested interest in making sure that the Republicans stay in power, so it doesn't really matter if we like her or not.
Boss babe. I mean, I lived in Manhattan. Charlie essentially plucked me out of the New York City orbit and was like, no, I have a healthier way of viewing things and looking at life and things like that. And he was right.
Erika provides the blueprint for all of the girl bosses out there to find true fulfillment and happiness by leaving that life behind and obeying men and having babies instead. It is totally fine to be a mother. I've got nothing against motherhood. It's more the fact that you're meant to submit to men in order to be happy, to forego a career in order to be happy. And the fact that they are purposefully targeting 15 to 25-year-olds, like people in these very impressionable, influential times in their life. And she very well knows this, and she can speak from her, quote, experience being a girl boss, from working as hard as she did. And I've been very purposeful in showing you how much she really does use this rhetoric of how miserable it made her, how much happier it made her to be a woman, to be a godly woman, to serve under Charlie, and be there for him. She's like the enforcer of what the trad wife does. The trad wife provides the happy, pretty propaganda, whereas Erika, with her very conservative values, with her very conservative, staunch, strong views, and this kind of righteous anger that she displays very often, she's the enforcer. And that's why I'm saying her combined with Turning Point USA, I feel is going to be the perfect accompaniment to the dictator that is Trump, and of course soon to be JD Vance. As much as they're trying to find the next Charlie Kirk, she will honestly fulfill the perfect role of the fascist Barbie. And ultimately, that's what makes her so frightening, and that's why I don't want someone like Erika Kirk to be underestimated in terms of how far they will go. She saw that the amount of money that could be made in Turning Point USA was far beyond anything that she could make herself. She has stressed in these interviews with Charlie how much stress she was under, how she hated that, and how she much preferred being with him because it allowed a much more secure life for her. I really wanted to make this video because we are in very dangerous times, and I wanted to make sure that there was an accurate picture painted of exactly what Erika's past was like and how she really is manipulating people and how she is creating her own propaganda about her own past. Like I said, I have my receipts, all of my sources are in the description box as they always are. You've even heard it from her own mouth. Like, I really just wanted to make sure that there was a source of truth actually here. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so very much. I know that this has been an incredibly long one. I've been filming in this full-length dress in 30-degree weather, which is this in Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for you, but it is very hot right now. So I'm just gonna go stand next to a fan. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, just because we are talking about Toilet Paper USA, why don't you leave the toilet paper emoji, and since it's in the spirit, why not the fireworks emoji? But I really do appreciate you making it all the way to the end of these videos. It makes a massive difference to my reach out on YouTube, and also for commenting down below. I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on this. Special thanks, of course, to all of my patrons, because they're the ones that vote for these topics. They're the ones that help to shape what you see before you today. Especially to all of my top tier Trash Panda enablers. Alyssa, Anna, Anna Marie, Birgit, Caroline and Violet, Carrie, Danielle, Dr. Worm, Elise, Amberly McCulley, Hamster Posty, Jamisa Brown, Jess, Katie Fakara, Christine Ryan, Laura Bell, Mark Tremonti is God, Mary Sweet, Megan Connolly, Natalie R, Nathan, Nicole H, Pink is Live, Queen Winters B, Reading Nesting, Ryder, Sentient Cactus, Spooky Jade, Tammy Poitres, Tasha McKinney, Tonya Beignet, Veru Cat Mama, and Sophima. Tell you what, I know that I want to watch something fun after having to watch all of my brain try and leave my ears as I was watching those Charlie Kirk and all of those long ass interviews and those long speeches. I've not been having a good time. Actually, if you have any show recommendations, please let me know, because I've nearly finished Heated Rivalry and I know that I need something else which is fun to distract from all of the hard research which I do for these videos. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Bye, lovelies.